Hey everybody, welcome back to Fab Daddy TV. I'm your host Fab Daddy. If you didn't watch my last video, or if it wasn't at the beginning of this video, go back and check out how I got the hood off for Buford. See, hood's off. I got the engine leveler hooked up, ready to start yanking. As you can see, I took both valve covers off. It's because where this chain was going to go was going to crush and damage the valve cover. So I went ahead, took them off. I got my leveler hooked up. Now, for those of you that this may be your first engine removal, you do not need one of these things. I've removed I don't know how many engines out of derby cars and stuff just using four chains. I took a piece of chain and find a bolt hole down here, run the chain up and over through the hook of the cherry picker and back down on both sides. You run bolts through the chains to help keep it from spreading out and stuff like that, help keep it level. I got this at Harbor Freight. It's been a great little tool. But like I said, you don't need it. You don't need fancy tools to do this. Honestly, you don't even need a cherry picker. I would borrow cherry pickers, or I'd go to a buddy's house and use his. After a while, I used a like an old swing set frame, like an old wooden swing set frame that had the 4x4 legs and the 4x6 crossbar. Works perfectly good. You just pick it up, roll the car out from under it, set the engine down, you're good to go. But anyway, so here I'm ready to start yanking. I've got a little bit of pressure on it. I'm going to try to do this video, like pause in between steps, because if I do one video, it's going to be like 2 hours long. So anyway, I'm going to pause it. I'm about ready to pull the motor mount bolts out, or engine mount bolts out. That can be kind of fun. But anyway, as soon as I am to the next step, I'll come back and we'll go from there. Hang on. Okay, engine mount bolts are out. There's one. And these usually aren't too bad to get out. Sometimes you may have to get a punch. I use this ladyfinger or crow's foot or whatever they call different things to drive the other one out. This one, I just put the impact on it, backed it out. So now the next step is we're going to crawl under the truck. We're going to support the transmission because we're not taking, I'm not taking the transmission out with the truck. So what I have here is I have my, see if I can zoom, I have my floor jack under here with a black piece of plywood under the transmission pan. I jack it up a little higher. And I was lucky enough, I could position it where the jack can go up between the tire and the wheel well, and the fender, to give me more of a stroke to go up a little faster. Otherwise, you'd be under here for a year. Anyway, I'm going to try to use a piece of wood, to spread the weight out so you're not crushing your transmission pan. Okay, this is going to fight me here a little bit, of course. Sorry about the video. I'm going to try to get your jack. I'm kind of towards the front of the transmission because I still have the transmission mount hooked up here. So I really need to support the front of the transmission, and if I support it towards the front, I can catch the front edge of the pan, which is a little bit stronger. So we're gonna jag it up, make sure we get a little bit of pressure on it. I don't want to pick it up. Okay, we got that. Now I have to pull out, I have 2 bolts left. I'm gonna pull them out. Then the transmission and engine will be separate. So hang on, I'll be right back. All right, so we're back under the truck. Like I said, I have 2 more bolts to pull out. If you can see it, can't really zoom. It's that bolt right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to sneak my socket up in there. Yes, I have a swivel on an impact. I'm gonna put you down for a second. Sorry, I'm trying to get this. I only got 2 hands. All right. Yes, I have a swivel on an impact because I like to live dangerously. Let me get my hand out of the way of the camera lens, so we'll see what happens here. And that's about what I expected. All right, I'm gonna have to put you guys down. I'll be right back. Okay, we're on the other side of the truck now. I got the 2 bolts out that we're holding. I forgot to mention that I already took the torque converter bolts out. There's 3 bolts here, which I was a little worried that if the engine was locked up, I was gonna have trouble getting the bolts out, but luckily it was stuck one way, but free turn the other way. And I also found another hole in the oil pan on this side. So anyway, so now if you can see right there's a gap between the transmission and the engine. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take my pry bar in here. Let's see if I can get them. All right, so they're separated. Let's see if I can get this side. Probably should have pulled that. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we got them separated pretty well. So that's gonna help when I go back up and start lifting the engine. That hopefully will just come apart. So we'll go do that. All right, we're back out here in front of the truck. I'm gonna start cranking up on it, see what happens. Hopefully it just starts lifting right out.